So this is SPIK3R from Lego Mindstorms EV3 I built a modded version. Everything is the same on this except for he has all sensors that are included with the kit, along with an ultrasonic sensor that I purchased on my own. But as you can see, I have the two sensors back here, color and touch sensor attached on these little pegs back here. Perfect spot for it. He's also got a little backlight back here, so a little joke for me and Jordan, so that way he doesn't ram into and that way no robots ram into him. Up front, he has got an ultrasonic sensor on top, and then the IR sensor on the bottom. So he's got the normal head, but then he has an ultrasonic also attached on. That way he has the great obstacle detection. As you saw him roaming around, he was doing better than any robot I've ever seen in my collection do. And he's also got the ability to work with this little IR sensor bug that you build with it, and he actually can hunt it down. He's okay at shooting it. I've definitely seen better. I just wanted this guy because he has a low profile body. So I know his name is SPIK3R, but I named him Scorpo. That's what I usually give my EV3's names. This one is Scorpo. So, like, for instance, it says Scorpo Roam 1 and then Scorpo Kill. Scorpo Kill is where he hunts the bugs, so I'll show that one. First, I'll turn on this. I made it so every command is activated by the touch sensor in the back. Again, it doesn't work the best because he's only using one motor. That's all the program is. I'd say maybe 80% of the time he can see the object, but other times he doesn't, sadly, because of how Lego designed him. This is also this one for the owner that's hunting down the beacon. It actually isn't my program. I'm not going to take credit for that. That was Lego's program. I just switched the motor numbers to match mine, and I added the touch sensor thing on the back. It made it so it activates by the touch sensor. So people are gonna be wondering, so how does this thing run when it has one motor up there, and then one motor right there, and then one motor up in front? It's actually got a really unique design. If I can try to flip it over without breaking it, as you can see. It's got a really unique design for it. The legs actually aren't making a move, it's actually just these wheels. It's got a lot of power. It doesn't look like it does, but surprisingly it does. It gets quite a lot of power out of just a single motor spinning. And then the motor appears just a medium servo motor. Yeah, so this is the new EV3 that I've built. It's pretty cool. I've already noticed one problem with this. Actually, never mind, it isn't a problem. Okay, never mind. I'll shut up. That wasn't a problem, that was just how it's designed. So, I mean, it just looks really cool, first of all. They did a really good job designing it. And it actually is not that hard to build. This one maybe took me 3 to 4 hours to build. That's also because I added on things and I had to wait for his batteries to be done charging. Okay, so that's really cool. I was able to mod in so he'd be able to work with an ultrasonic sensor and also have all of our sensors, because the default SPIK3R only has the IR sensor and no other sensor upon it. So I'd modded it so I could have a touch, color, and then my own ultrasonic sensor that I bought off Lego.com. People have been wondering how I've been able to acquire a ultrasonic sensor when an average Lego Mindstorm EV3 owner or collector, or just knows a lot about them, knows that you don't get the ultrasonic sensor with the normal home edition. People have been kind of angry about that. I was too. You get the IR sensor instead, which isn't a fair trade, because the IR sensor is actually quite poor. It has a quite performance for roaming, but a pretty good performance for the beacons. The ultrasonic sensor isn't cheap either. It's like 40 to 50. It's actually like $40 for mine, but it was well worth it because of how well it can roam. I honestly recommend purchasing an ultrasonic sensor with your EV3 when you purchase one. It's an extra $40, but it's worth it. I mean, this thing is awesome. I mean, you saw how cool it looks when it's roaming, and then it's also able to detect objects. It's weird because the way how this thing works with one motor in the bottom, it's kind of like an average mechanism for like a basic robot or something like that. But what's bad about it is depending on how much force you're using, and depending on the state that the EV3 is in, it can either just back up or it can turn. Now, I tried making it back up and then turn, but it did not work, sadly. Sometimes it turned and then turned again, other times it backed up and then backed up again. So I only made it choppy. It's just one slight little movement with it for like that lasts like 2 seconds, and it's got 100 power, so it's quick enough where it's not going to start backing. Because if you saw it when it was spinning around, it was actually backing up part of it because of all the motion, because of all the backing up it had in that program. So, you know, if they included another large servo motor at this thing, it'd be a little wider, but then it could work a little better with turning. But this thing's really cool. This is by far my favorite EV3 I've built so far. I did build another one that had a big cage around it, a big frame. It didn't work very well though. For some reason, I don't know why, I kept on turning to one side and the wheels were equal, so I guess one of my motors is just weaker than the other, I don't know. But I took that one apart today and I built this one, and this one just performs phenomenally. I did not expect it to work this well with one motor in the back, when there's just one motor in the bottom of it. It performs a lot better than what I thought it was going to do. I thought it was going to have errors and errors beyond errors, and yet somehow it managed to work. People are wondering what EV3s I'm looking at building. This is probably the last one out of the Lego series. I might wind up building my own custom ones later if this one does get problems. I usually build new ones if my other ones get problems, so I try to resolve that problem. Sometimes it's successful, sometimes it isn't. It all kind of depends on how I build it. This one resolved the problem of not being able to see low objects, and it also solved the problem of it driving in circles. But the only problem with this one is that the turning thing, but it's not that bad. It barely ever happens, as you saw roaming at the beginning. But all my other roaming modes for this thing will not work, because those are all built for Everstorm. So, or EV3 Storm. I call it EV3 Storm, but people have been correcting me saying no, it's Everstorm. So, you know, whatever you prefer. This one fixed it. It has a low body profile ultrasonic sensor with every sensor it needs. It's got the ball shooter on the top. It's actually really powerful. I shot myself with it by accident, and I could actually feel it through my sweatshirt. So it was pretty powerful. Anyways, I thank you guys for watching. This has been Arizona, and I just wanted to show you this because if you guys want to build an EV3 or you have one and you want my recommendations, get an ultrasonic sensor and then build this thing. And if you need my instructions or any aid like that, I might be able to help you out with that and help you build it. All I can say is it's the basic SPIK3R with the ultrasonic sensor attached on it, and then just have these attached in the back. The wires kind of get in the way, but you just have to kind of fidget with them, and they'll eventually get into a place like how I have mine. So yeah, thank you guys for watching, and I will see you in the next video.